prestigious Kenya Open golf tournament, better known as the Magical Kenya Open, where history will be made as Isaac Makokha becomes the first deaf golfer to feature in the European Tour event, which will be closely followed by another European Tour event, the Kenya Savannah Classic.
Yeah, so for Kenya Open, I've been preparing. Yeah, and also mentally, I've been doing a lot of work to ensure that for Kenya Open, I am set and I perform well. Yeah, I'm ready for both. I'm not worried, I'm ready for both.
The amateur golfer made the cut when he won the Kenya Amateur Match Play Championship at his base at the Vet Lab Golf Club, where he beat Jay Santhu of Royal Nairobi Golf Club.
Yeah, it was not easy at all. It was because the players there were also very qualified. So I had to ensure that I'm not stressed. I really worked on controlling my stress, and especially when I was playing on the final day with Jay Santhu, I knew he's a very good player, and so some of other friends also advised me that I need to start winning early because the Jay Santhu has played a lot of championships and he's a good player. So finally, when I was able to beat him, I felt like, yeah, for sure he was not an easy person to beat. But I also trusted in myself. I believed that I could do it. And finally, I just thank God for everything, how it went. And that's why I am here.
He proved his worth to be ready for his greatest test of endurance.
I actually was a caddy. Initially, I started as a caddy. So I did some tournament, and then later on I became an amateur. So, but I think through the tournaments that I was doing as a caddy, they gave me a good experience. So when I became an amateur, it wasn't that difficult. Yeah, like I've also done a good caddy for a good number of years. I think 2016 is when I transitioned from a caddy and I started playing golf up until now. I like about 4 times. Yeah, but championship is once. Or some of the others were friendly matches, like just amongst us amateurs. Yeah, but I actually would be number 2, number 3, number 2, number 3. But for the championship, I think that's the first time I was being number 1, like the top of everybody. So, but a couple of other amateur championships I've won.
And that's not the only tournament he's featured in.
Yes. In Uganda, I was almost winning in Uganda, but I was so broke. So the last minute, I was left with like 3 holes. Then I didn't perform very well. So I was like number 11, but that was okay. Yeah, because also mentally it really counts a lot. So I think when I was in Uganda, the finances disoriented me and I didn't perform well. How much? In Sigona, there was also an amateur championship. I was number 5. There was also another in Thika Greens. I was number 2. Where there's the one in Kitale, I was number 2 again. Yeah, so I keep fluctuating like that. That's how my performance has been in the amateur championship. Yeah, but it has been good for me because it has helped me really learn so much. That I believe also for me, having been playing with the hearing people, that has been a plus for me. And one thing I really want to encourage people, if the persons with disability are to join, they should not be separated, like play on their own. It's good to mingle Like in Uganda, I saw somebody who didn't have fingers, the other one who was physically disabled. But they played very well. They were mixed with the regular people, persons without disability, and it was okay. So I believe it's possible for persons with disability and other people to play together.
The golfer also took part in the 2017 Deaflympics golf tournament in Samsung, where he was ranked 6th.
Yeah, so first of all, the Deaflympics, how I qualified, they say the qualification had to be handicap 12. So that was the requirement, which I was able to get. Then there was no any other deaf from Africa, so I'm the only one who qualified to go and participate in the Deaflympics. So we also had to show the certificate before you start participating in the championship. And then we went with my coach then, and he was able to register me for this championship, and that's how I participated. When I was there, I felt, I was actually not very confident back then because it was the first time I was participating in such a serious championship. But now I feel how I performed in the Deaflympics wasn't good. I wasn't acquainted with the weather in this country. I wasn't yet, my playing skills were not as good. But I feel, so I performed fairly, but now I feel much more ready. I was number 5, finally. It felt very nice to be the first African man to participate in this because there was no one else like myself. I felt good. Yeah, and so I know maybe some people will be inspired to also do the same from Africa.
Isaac lost his hearing at a young age after acquiring malaria, which has been implicated as a rare cause of hearing loss in some studies.
I was born hearing, then after some time I became sick for a very long time. After this illness, I became deaf, and the doctors told my mother that I had turned deaf. So that's just it. It was malaria. I had, my ears were paining. Yeah, then I had nausea. Yeah, when I realized, I just accepted my condition because it was a little stressful, but I accepted and moved on.
This did not stop him from venturing into sports.
And I actually started with golf first. So later on, I was just trying football and volleyball, but I realized my interest was in golf.
He eventually found his place in the golf course thanks to his dad who worked at the Eldoret Golf Club.
I actually started when I was young. You know, my father was working in a golf course, so I started learning golf when I was very young. My dad worked in Eldoret in the golf club, so I would see people, especially the white people, the Muzungu, playing, and I really liked it. Then I decided to join golf.
Coming from a humble background meant he had to work his way to supplement the family's income, and where else than nearer home at the golf course.
Maybe around 5 years as a caddy. Yeah, because I was looking for money through the caddy. When I get some cash, I would come and maybe just for survival, I'll pay rent, and then I continue also. Most of the time I didn't have the golf kit, so I would depend on the caddy job to survive, and also maybe to pay for some golf balls or for championship as an amateur. Yeah, so sometimes I would get like 3,000, then I pay for the tournament for amateur.
His family played a big role in his transition, and he can't thank his mom enough for being there with him every step of the way.
First, I really love to appreciate my mother. She's called Dorcas Olo. So she's been just a wonderful lady. She's never discriminated me. She's never oppressed me in any way. And I remember when I was young, when I went to visit my dad in Eldoret, I would carry a few golf balls to my village back in Lugari. So when I was there, at times I would play with the golf balls. When from time to time I would lose the golf balls, my mother would go slashing and looking for the golf ball until she finds it and gives it back to me. And then I play again, I lose it. She would always be willing to help me until I went to school in Webuye. So every time my mother would look for this golf ball and keep for me. And this kept happening again and again. And my mother never gave up on helping me to search for these golf balls. So even right now where I am, I really give it up for my mother. And the same to my father. I want to really appreciate him because through his work at the Eldoret Golf Club, has really contributed to me being where I am today. So I thank him, because it was just through luck that if he wasn't working for the Eldoret Golf Club, probably I won't be a golfer today.
His older brothers Ruben and Jeff Kubwa, who teed off before him, offered him the much needed support.
Tulianza na kuchonga hizi miti tukicheza nayo. Tunachonga klabu yenye tunataka. Umeona? Tunachonga klabu yenye tunataka. Tunacheza nayo na hizi nini za mahindi. Na hizi nini za mahindi huwa tunaziita msogoro. Hizo ndio tulikuwa tunachukua, tunapiga nazo. Ukipiga uone inatoka mzuri, unasema swing ni mzuri. So tulianza hapo, tukacheza. So kwa hiyo harakati mandugu zangu niliona walikuwa wameanza kuwa na interest. So nikawashika mkono, nikaanza kuonesha venye watakuwa wanacheza. Na kwa bahati mzuri au mbaya, mzee akapata retire, ilikuwa 2002, tukaenda nyumbani. Hapo hivyo mimi nilikuwa study 8 naenda form 1. So kwa hiyo harakati mzee hakuweza kulipa school fees. Mimi nika drop out kwa shule, nikaanza mambo ya boda huko reserve tu. Siku hiyo ilikuwa ni baiskeli, haikuwa hii mambo ya pikipiki. Ilikuwa ni kungangana na mlima na baiskeli. So nimepambana hivyo, natoa pesa kidogo, nalipia hata shule, natoa kidogo, tunakula kwa nyumba, hivyo. So wakati huyu ndugu yangu huyu Jeff alimaliza shule, akona maisha nyumbani ni ngumu, akaamua kurudi Eldoret. Kwa hiyo wakati hiyo akaona yenyewe maisha Eldoret sio mbaya, akaniita. Akaniambia ukuje tukae huko hivi. Mimi nikarudi, nikakaa kwake. Wakati huo nilikuwa nimeoa. Nikakaa kwake kwa muda kidogo, nikaona hapana, bibi yangu siwezi mwacha nyumbani, akakuja naye tukaendelea kuishi naye. Hivyo wamecheza. Jeff ametoka Eldoret amekuja Nairobi. Akaita huyu. 2017 wakati nimekuja hapa nimejaribu kueneza kupea ndugu yangu advice. Ndio anaweza kaa maisha kwa sababu niliona akona venye asikii sio kama sisi, yani hayuko kama sisi. Nikakuwa nimemweka karibu sana. Namwambia ukitaka kukaa mzuri kaa hivi. Ukitaka kukaa na watu kaa hivi. Umeona hii golf hii, najaribu kumpema motisha, namwambia eka bidii. Umeona? Na nashukuru sana klabu ya VET wakampea hiyo chance ya kucheza. Unajua kama angepewa chance ya kucheza angefikia mahali penye hapo hapo.
Jeff Kubwa, a pro at the Muthaiga Golf Club, found himself learning the sign language to adapt to his brother's situation as he made sure they were all catered for after Ruben had done his part.
Golf tulianza Eldoret tukiwa vijana wadogo. Sisi wote tulizaliwa Eldoret Golf Club. Baba alikuwa anafanya kazi hapo kama receptionist. So tulianza golf tukiwa vijana wadogo kabisa. So ndugu yetu mkubwa alianza kucheza kabla ya sisi, sababu alikuwa mkubwa wetu. Sisi tukaona akicheza pia tukaanza kucheza na yeye. Mimi nikakuja kucheza tournament ya juniors hapa Nairobi Muthaiga in 2001. Nilikuwa na miaka 9, nikakuwa namba 2 in my category. So hiyo ilini inspire kuendelea kucheza sababu nilipewa JGF card hiyo ni kadi napewa juniors, wanaweza cheza any course bila kulipa hata kama si members. So nilicheza, but unfortunately mzee akapata retire, akaenda nyumbani, so sisi wote tulienda nyumbani. So between 2002 and 2008, so hatukucheza golf sababu tulikuwa nyumbani. Venye Isaac amesema yeye aliingia kucheza volleyball na football, mimi niliingia shule nikaanza kucheza basketball. So si kucheza golf for like 8 years. Baada ya kumaliza shule nilirudi Eldoret kutafuta maisha. So nilirudi Eldoret Golf Club kama kadi kubeba bag. So nilianza kucheza polepole, marafiki zangu wakaniambia tunaona game bado iko, I think endelea kuweka bidii sababu tunaona bado hujapoteza venye ulikuwa unacheza. So nilizidi kuweka bidii, nikacheza, nika invite ndugu zangu. Ndugu yangu mkubwa akakuja akakaa na mimi. So nilikuwa host wao. Isaac akanifuata, akakuja. So sisi wote tulikuwa nakaa nyumba moja, mimi nilikuwa na host. So nikaendelea kucheza, nikakuja kucheza Tana Hill hapa Nairobi kurepresent Western team. I played very well. I was scouted by Moteiga, so they snatched me from Eldoret. So nikajoin Moteiga, nikawachezea at a league level, club level. After 1.5 years nikajoin national team, nikacheza Kenya national team. So I represented Kenya in zone 6 in Swaziland. Nikacheza East African Challenge na Victoria Cup Uganda. Then I decided to turn pro after then because niliona game yangu iko sawa, naweza cheza na other professionals. So ndugu yetu huyu is also a very good player. Anacheza off handicap 2 at the moment. So huyu amekuwa our pillar. So sisi wote tumekuwa, sababu yeye alikuwa anacheza vizuri sana. Actually angepata support wakati alikuwa na grow, he would be also in the professional ranks, but unfortunately hakupata hiyo support. Sisi tulikuja tukapata mtu kama mimi, venye nasema nilisnachiwa na Moteiga Golf Club, so I went to play for them and that's how I became who I am today.
And with such a support system from his beloved family, Isaac has been able to reach for the stars.
I want to be like Tiger Woods. Yeah, so that's my idol. I really admire him, how he plays golf. So he's the one I'm looking up to. There's somebody called Snow and Indiza. The two of them, I also feel I'd want to play like them someday.
The fact that he's deaf, his concentration was even better because he couldn't hear any distractions, people shouting and all those. That's when I say, actually a guy like this one can go very far because his concentration is very good. So huyu ni yule mtu nitakana shikiliwe mkono, apewe support anahitaji. This guy can be our next Tiger Woods because he's a very good player.
He's not stopping at that as he works his way in the amateur ranks for now.
I think turning pro early, it also involves a lot of financial implications. So that's why I'm not in a hurry to become a pro. Because if I become a pro, I'm not sure how I will survive financially. So I'm still thinking about it, but not so early, not in a hurry to become a pro.
It's challenging to interact with other players in a world filled with silence as he goes about his passion, but it works for him.
Also financial challenge because only when I do like a championship or a challenge, then I win, I get small benefits. So I think finances is still a challenge, but it's not something that really worries me more because I've learned to stay relaxed and continue focusing on my game.
However, is always accompanied by his interpreter Winnie Adayo to interpret and translate for him in a sport said to be complicated. But it's not complicated for VetLab, a sports club who've taken him in to offer him the necessary support.
And I'm also very happy with the VetLab, the administration. They've given me the opportunity to grow. And if they did, without their help, I would not be here today. So I really want to thank VetLab a lot. So they've been helpful and instrumental in my life to make me to grow up to where I am today.
Isaac Makokha has not let his hearing impairment define his life, and his success is a proof that there are no limits to what one can do. You inspired them to be like you, to be where you are.
Just a few. We don't have so many deaf playing golf, but a serious player, not really. Some of them are just doing caddy, but not players. Yeah, sometimes I try to encourage them, but they're like, no, I need money, so I have to caddy for me to be able to survive. So most of them are not very sure about becoming players. Yes, so like also, most of them have not been able to start golf at a young age. So when they try to join golf when they're already adults, it's very difficult because you can't help but think about how to survive, how to get the money.
As I watch him immersed in a spirited sign language, I can only marvel at his determination to compete, enjoy, and excel in golf, just like his role model, the legendary Tiger Woods. For yes, he can, and oh yes, he will.
I'm just planning to do more training to get better at my skill. I'm not going to relax. I'll keep doing more and more training. Yeah, and also when other deaf join me, hopefully, I'll be there for them, ready to assist them.